employee during the probationary period is not subject to the grievance and arbitration provisions of the CBA. So it seems like county employees have a specific carve out for certain correctional officials. And then Section 3, I think, is the broader one. Following a reasonable probationary period consistent with the provisions of subsection 2A and Section 2701, which is the employee probation periods for municipal employees that we just covered, a county officer or department head may dismiss, suspend, or otherwise discipline a department employee only for cause, except as provided in paragraph A. And I just explained that a little bit lower. I don't think it's too relevant for our purposes, but just so you have the full picture. Again, cause for dismissal gets into the reasons for those purposes, if you'd like to look into that further. And then last, state employees under Title V, Section 7051, there's a probationary period. All original appointments to the classified service and all subsequent promotional appointments within the classified service may be for a probationary period. The duration of the probationary period is determined by the officer in consultation with the director or commissioner of the agency, but in no case may it be for less than 6 months. Again, there's clarifying language there on what it means to be in the probationary period. So those seem to be the three statutes. There was some conversations during the public hearing, and I don't know what went on behind the scenes in terms of drafting it as to why it's Title 26, right? I think is where the suggested the new section is. I don't know if it was too difficult to go through 30A, 2701, Section 501, potentially into Title 5 too, depending on what the public safety dispatcher, what their employing entity was. I don't know if that was going to create a lot of complications, and I don't know if Representative Bunker has more information or if that's something that was just, provided out of the revisor's office. I'm not sure. But generally, as you can see, for a lot of employees, generally it's 6 months, but there are exceptions for folks. You have some from the Maine Criminal Justice Academy for law enforcement officers. You have this section for county employees, the probationary period for correctional officials. I don't recall for DOC. I think I looked at their probationary period. I believe it was 6 months as well. So it ranges depending on who's your employee, if you're a specific role, but generally 6 months, but with some exceptions, there are places in statute where it mentions a year. Miscellaneous concerns. Some things from the public hearing about the definition of public safety dispatcher might be too broad and including individuals that are not intended to be captured in the bill. I think this was some of the situations that Representative Perkins was talking about in the public hearing, where these folks aren't necessarily receiving calls to the public and it's more of an internal system that they operate, but might fall into this definition. 2, would the probationary period start from the public safety dispatcher's start date, or would it after they complete their training? Most statutes seem silent on the start date, but for law enforcement officers, it lasts 1 year after graduation from the academy or the date that the board waives the basic training requirement. I think from the public hearing testimony, there was certain training that public safety dispatchers go through. From my recollection, it was maybe about a month or so. So I don't know if that start date matters too much, but something for consideration. And then if there are any carve-outs are warranted for employees that are currently covered under a collective bargaining agreement or some other form of carve-out. I'm not particularly interested with the labor laws, as I staff the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee. But from my understanding, there are some situations in where state law might affect a current collective bargaining agreement. There are some options as NCEU